All right, let's get into it. Today, we're unlocking the real power of your data by getting the hang of MySQL, the language that literally lets us talk to databases.
Think about it. Every database is just packed with answers, but they're all locked away. The key is knowing how to ask the right questions, and that's exactly the key we're handing you today.
So, our journey starts with the most basic, most fundamental command in the entire toolbox, select. This is how we kick off the conversation with our data. Now with select, you've got two main approaches. You can use the asterisk, that little star, to just grab everything from a table. It's like casting a huge net. Or you can be way more surgical and just ask for the specific columns you need. This keeps your results clean, focused, and honestly, a lot faster.
You know, it really helps to think of SQL in two big categories. What we just did with select, that's DQL, or data query language. It's all about asking questions. In a bit, we're going to get into DML, data manipulation language, which is all about making changes.
So we know how to ask for data, but let's be real. How do we find the exact data we're looking for? Well, that's where filtering and organizing come into play. A really powerful query is built in layers, kind of like a recipe. First, we select our data. Then, we add a where clause to filter for exactly what we want, say employees who make more than 60 grand. And finally, we can use order by to sort the results, maybe from the highest salary down to the lowest. Seriously, think of the where clause as your most important tool for precision. It's like a data sieve, filtering out all the noise and keeping only the records that really matter to your question. Okay, so you've written the perfect, laser-focused query, but it still returns thousands and thousands of rows. How do you possibly handle that without completely overwhelming your application or, your user? The answer is actually two super simple commands, limit and offset. Limit tells the database, hey, only give me, say, 10 results. And offset says, but start after you've already skipped the first 20. You put those together, and you have the magic behind pretty much every next page button you've ever clicked online. We have totally mastered asking questions. So now it's time to switch gears from DQL over to DML and learn how we can actually change the data sitting inside our database.
And there are three core commands for this. Insert into adds brand new rows. Update is for tweaking information in rows that are already there. And delete, well, as you might guess, that one removes rows completely.
Okay, listen up, because this is probably the single most important rule to remember. When you use update or delete, you absolutely must include a where clause. If you forget it, you won't just change one record, you'll change or delete your entire table. It's a catastrophic and, sadly, common mistake. So always be specific. We're getting pretty good at this, but real-world questions are often more complex, right? So let's look at some more advanced tools for asking those more nuanced questions. You can combine your filters in the where clause using and or. Just think of it this way. And is strict. It requires every single condition to be true. Or is way more flexible. It just needs one of the conditions to be met. But there are other operators that let you ask even smarter questions. Need to find salaries within a specific range? Use between. Need to see if a customer is from a particular list of cities? Use in. And, crucially, if you need to find records where some data is just missing entirely, that's what IFNULL is for. So what if you only know part of what you're looking for? That's where the like operator just shines. The percent sign acts as a wildcard for any number of characters, and the underscore is a wildcard for just a single character. This is so powerful for pattern matching in text. All right, for our final section, let's look at how we can stop pulling down tons of raw data and instead make the database do all the heavy lifting for us. And we do that with built-in functions. These are what we call aggregate functions. They're basically the supercalculators of your database. You can instantly count rows, sum up values, find averages, or pinpoint the minimum and maximum values in any column. So for example, what if we wanted to know exactly how many employees are in our table? We just write this simple query right here. And bam, the database instantly gives you back a single, perfect number. You didn't have to pull all the data and count it yourself. The database does the work. And this power doesn't just stop with numbers. You can combine text with concat, format messy dates so they're actually readable, and even apply if-then logic on the fly. You can also replace those empty, null values with something cleaner, like NA. This is how you go from raw data to polished, intelligent reports, all with just a single query. So from selecting and filtering to modifying and calculating, You now have the fundamental tools to make data talk. Every single database holds secrets, answers, and stories that are just waiting to be told. So the only question left is, what will you ask first?